For decades, Israel and Iran waged a shadow war, a conflict fought in the shadows rather than on open battlefields. Their rivalry played out through covert operations, espionage, and a web of proxy battles stretching across Syria, Lebanon, and Yemen. Each side sought to undermine the other's influence in the region, using local militias, intelligence networks, and clandestine strikes to avoid direct confrontation. This uneasy balance kept the conflict simmering, but rarely boiling over into open warfare. Assassinations of key figures and mysterious explosions at military sites became almost routine, shrouded in secrecy, and governed by unwritten rules. Both nations maintained plausible deniability, careful not to cross certain lines that might trigger all-out war. The world watched as this dangerous game unfolded, with each side testing the other's limits, but always pulling back before the brink. But in the summer of 2025, the fragile status quo shattered. A single event set off a chain reaction, and suddenly, the world was watching a new kind of conflict unfold, one that was no longer hidden in the shadows, but broadcast in real time across the globe. Israel launched a series of unprecedented airstrikes deep inside Iranian territory, targeting not just military outposts but also critical nuclear infrastructure. The attacks were swift and devastating, killing senior commanders and top scientists, and sending shockwaves through Iran's leadership. For the first time, the world saw Israel's willingness to strike at the very heart of its rival's power. Iran's response was immediate and overwhelming. In a dramatic escalation, it unleashed a massive barrage of ballistic missiles and swarms of drones targeting Israeli cities directly. This marked a historic turning point, the first time Iranian firepower struck deep into Israeli territory, bringing the war home to millions of civilians. Air raid sirens blared across Israeli cities as some projectiles broke through the country's advanced missile defenses. Streets emptied in panic, families rushed to shelters, and emergency teams scrambled to respond to the chaos. The attacks left behind shattered buildings, injured civilians, and a sense of vulnerability that Israelis had not felt in decades. The old rules of engagement had vanished overnight. What was once a distant, abstract conflict had become a terrifying reality for millions of ordinary people. Cities went into lockdown, and the fear of further escalation gripped the entire region. This direct confrontation has forced the world to ask a new and urgent question: who is stronger, Israel or Iran? Both nations have invested heavily in advanced weaponry, intelligence, and cyber capabilities, and both are determined to prove their dominance. The answer is far from simple. It is shaped by each country's unique military doctrines, the sophistication of their technology, and the strategies their leaders are willing to pursue. The balance of power is constantly shifting, with each side adapting to the other's moves in real time. The outcome of this direct conflict will not only determine the future of Israel and Iran, but will also reshape the entire Middle East and alter global power dynamics for years to come. The world now holds its breath, watching as history unfolds in real time. On paper, Iran's military dwarfs Israel's, with over 600,000 active personnel, a force that, at first glance, seems overwhelming in sheer numbers. This massive standing army is a legacy of Iran's turbulent history, and its focus on maintaining a strong presence in a volatile region. Beyond its active troops, Iran can call upon a million-strong pool of reservists and paramilitary volunteers, ready to be mobilized in times of crisis. This potential surge capacity gives Iran a formidable presence on the ground, especially in a prolonged conflict. But Iran's military power isn't monolithic. It's split between the regular army, which handles traditional defense, and the Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps, or IRGC, which wields vast influence both inside and outside Iran. The IRGC controls elite units, missile forces, and even oversees proxy militias across the region, making it a unique force within the Iranian system. In contrast, Israel's military, the Israel Defense Forces, or IDF, is much smaller, with about 170,000 active personnel. But what Israel lacks in numbers, it makes up for in speed and organization. The IDF can mobilize nearly 500,000 reservists within days, transforming the country into a nation on alert almost overnight. Israel's defense budget is a staggering $24 billion, bolstered by billions in annual U.S. military aid. This funding fuels a relentless drive for technological superiority. Think advanced missile defense systems, cutting-edge drones, and cyber warfare capabilities that are among the best in the world. Iran's military budget, by comparison, is less than half of Israel's, and is further squeezed by international sanctions. These constraints have forced Iran to innovate in other ways, focusing on developing a vast arsenal of missiles, an expanding fleet of military drones, and a network of proxy forces that extend its reach far beyond its borders. Israel invests heavily in the quality of its forces, rapid response capabilities, and elite special operations units. Iran, meanwhile, emphasizes quantity, resilience, and the ability to wage asymmetric warfare, using unconventional tactics to offset Israel's technological edge. These contrasting approaches shape their military strategies. Israel relies on precision, speed, and intelligence, while Iran bets on endurance, layered defenses, and the ability to project power through proxies and unconventional means. Israel's edge lies in its advanced technology, constant readiness, and the ability to strike quickly and decisively. Iran's strength is in its sheer manpower, strategic depth, and the ability to absorb and respond to attacks over time. Ultimately, the balance between Israel and Iran isn't just about numbers or budgets. It's about how each side leverages its unique strengths, whether that's Israel's innovation and rapid mobilization, or Iran's resilience and regional influence, to shape the future of military power in the Middle East. Air power reveals the starkest differences between Israel and Iran, shaping the very nature of their rivalry. In the skies above the Middle East, technology, strategy, and innovation collide, setting the stage for a new era of aerial warfare. Israel's Air Force is a formidable force, fielding the cutting-edge F-35 Wanadir stealth fighters alongside upgraded F-15S and F-16S. These jets are equipped with advanced avionics, electronic warfare suites, and precision-guided munitions, allowing Israel to strike with both stealth and accuracy. The Israeli Air Force's pilots are among the best trained in the world, and their ability to coordinate complex missions gives Israel a decisive edge in any aerial confrontation. In contrast, Iran's Air Force relies heavily on aging American and Soviet-era jets, many of which date back to the 1970s and 1980s. Despite efforts to upgrade and maintain these aircraft, they simply cannot match Israel's modern fleet in terms of speed, maneuverability, or firepower. In a direct dogfight, Iran's jets would be at a severe disadvantage. To offset this imbalance, Iran has invested heavily in developing a vast and diverse drone arsenal. Swarms of Shahed 136 and other UAVs can be launched simultaneously, overwhelming enemy defenses through sheer numbers. These drones are used for surveillance, kamikaze attacks, and even electronic warfare, making them a flexible and persistent threat. Israel, however, has built a multi-layered air defense network that is the envy of the world. The Iron Dome intercepts short-range rockets and drones, while David's sling and arrow systems target ballistic and cruise missiles. During recent missile barrages, these defenses have demonstrated their effectiveness, intercepting the vast majority of incoming threats and protecting Israeli cities and military assets. Iran's own air defenses, centered on Russian-made S-300S and a patchwork of domestically produced systems, are far less reliable. Israeli airstrikes have repeatedly exposed gaps in Iran's coverage, striking high-value targets with apparent impunity and highlighting the vulnerability of Iran's critical infrastructure. The air war between these two rivals is not just about hardware, it's a contest of doctrine and innovation. Israel relies on precision technology and rapid response, while Iran bets on numbers, asymmetric tactics, and the element of surprise. Iranian drone operators are constantly adapting, seeking new ways to penetrate Israeli defenses. While Israel's superiority in the air is clear, Iran's relentless drone campaigns remain a persistent and evolving threat. The cat-and-mouse game in the skies is far from over, as both sides continue to innovate and adapt. Ultimately, the skies above the Middle East have become a battleground of quality versus quantity, where advanced technology faces off against swarming innovation, and the outcome remains uncertain. Iran's missile arsenal is its main tool for power projection, over 2,000 ballistic missiles capable of reaching Israel. Its strategy launched massive barrages to overwhelm defenses. Israel, by contrast, relies on precision-guided missiles and the Jericho series, believed to be nuclear-capable. In the latest conflict, Iran's 150 missile barrage caused limited damage, as Israel's Arrow system intercepted most threats. Israel's preemptive strikes destroyed key Iranian launch sites, crippling retaliation. The lesson precision and intelligence can outweigh sheer numbers. Missile warfare is not just about quantity, but effectiveness and accuracy. The balance of terror is shaped by how well each side uses its arsenal. The naval contest is shaped by geography and doctrine. Israel's navy is small but advanced, built around Sa'ar-class corvettes and, crucially, Dolphin-class submarines, believed to carry nuclear cruise missiles. Iran's navy is larger, split between conventional forces and the IRGC's swarm of fast attack boats in the Persian Gulf. Israel's subs provide a second-strike deterrent and project power far from home. Iran's strategy is asymmetric, using speedboats, mines, and missiles to threaten the Strait of Hormuz and global oil flows. Israel secures open seas. Iran aims to make the Gulf a dangerous choke point. Both navies play to their strengths. Technology for Israel, disruption for Iran. The maritime front is a high-stakes chessboard. The nuclear question is the conflict's most dangerous dimension. Israel maintains nuclear ambiguity, with an estimated 8,200 warheads deliverable by missiles, jets, and submarines. This arsenal is its ultimate deterrent. Iran claims peaceful nuclear intentions, but enrichment levels and secret facilities fuel global suspicion. By 2025, Iran was close to weapons-grade uranium, prompting Israel's preemptive strikes on nuclear sites and scientists. The attack set back Iran's program but hardened its resolve. Israel sees a nuclear Iran as an existential threat. Iran seeks deterrence and parity. The standoff risks rapid escalation to the nuclear threshold. The rivalry is no longer just conventional, it's a race against catastrophe. The nuclear shadow looms over every decision. Before open war, Israel and Iran clashed in cyberspace and espionage. Israel's Mossad and Unit 8200 are world leaders in intelligence and cyber warfare, credited with daring operations and the Stuxnet attack on Iran's nuclear program. Iran's IRGC Cyber Command has grown more aggressive, targeting infrastructure and spreading disinformation. Both sides use cyber attacks to sabotage, steal secrets, and sow chaos. Israeli operations have delayed Iran's nuclear and missile programs. Iran has struck Israeli utilities and financial systems. The digital war is constant, fueling mistrust and escalation. Every glitch or explosion is suspect, blurring the line between peace and war. The shadow conflict is as real as the missiles. Alliances define the conflict's scope. Israel's partnership with the US provides advanced weapons, intelligence, and a security umbrella, crucial in the latest conflict. The Abraham Accords have brought cautious cooperation with Gulf states, adding strategic depth. Western diplomatic support further isolates Iran. Iran relies on Russia and China for diplomatic cover, technology, and economic lifelines. Its axis of resistance, Hezbollah, Hamas, Iraqi, and Yemeni militias, extends its reach through proxies. Recent wars have weakened some proxies, forcing Iran into more direct confrontation. The battlefield is shaped as much by alliances as by armies. When the dust settles, the picture is complex. Israel's technological edge, air dominance, and intelligence superiority are clear. US support amplifies its power. Iran's strength, strategic depth, population, and missile arsenal make it resilient and dangerous. Both sides learned hard lessons. Israel can strike deep but is vulnerable to missiles. Iran can retaliate but faces limits in technology and defense. A decisive victory is unlikely for either. War would bring catastrophic losses and instability to both nations and the region. Israel might win battles but not the war. Iran could endure but at immense cost. The only certainty is shared misery. True strength may lie in restraint, not escalation.